Oh.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. So you got it all sent off.
Yeah. You know what? I was really proud of it.
I think it was a good product.
You know, in the end, it looked good. It was in a folder.
Now, Betty will have it when?
Tomorrow morning.
Okay, and she knows it's coming.
She knows it's coming. I put on the note. What I said to her was, if she felt comfortable, maybe she could leave it under his desk in the back and let him know, when she talks to him that it's there and he could get it on Sunday.
When does he where is he now?
I don't know. He's somewhere in Latin America. He comes home Sunday morning.
Early?
Yeah.
Oh, so he'll probably go to the office.
Well, possible, but he could also, it's not definite, but...
Okay, so she knows...
But she probably won't do that because that's what I want.
Yeah, she'll forget.
But then I also said, it ended up being in this big envelope. So,
Was it expensive?
I don't know. I used my credit card or my mom's credit card.
Monica.
What? Well, what am I supposed to do?
Would you put your name on it?
I put Lewis.
All right, so that's not a big deal, but I mean, you should at least find out how much it is.
I'm sure it wasn't much.
No?
No.
All right, so...
So then...
Because he's expecting this list, right?
I guess, and he's getting a whole fat packet.
But he asked for...
Right, he asked for a list, a better idea of what it was I wanted to do.
But I mean, now, is he still stuck on the UN thing?
I think he is, and I think when he comes back from this trip, he'll be even more, because what he was doing was so stupid. He's going to talk to Bill Richardson. Well, what do you think Bill Richardson's going to say? Oh, my department is stupid. My department's not interesting at all.
Right.
My department's boring. There's no place for someone you want to place there. You know what I mean?
Well, what he's going to say is, what can I do for you?
Exactly.
So, did he say he would speak to Kaplan? Or have Vernon speak to Kaplan? He just said he knew him.
Neither of us were thinking straight. He said, the only one I know in a network is Kaplan. He said, but his shop is in Atlanta.
Oh. Well, that's where they're... Yeah.
Did I tell you he gave me a CD, by the way?
No.
It was really weird. He was cleaning up. First of all, he is such an anal neat freak. Like,
really?
I would not have expected that of him. But we were talking, and this one of his books, sometimes the book has a ribbon as a bookmarker?
Yes.
The ribbon was hanging out down below. He got up and put the ribbon inside the book and put it back in the bookshelf. I would not even notice that.
Well, isn't the ribbon supposed to hang down?
No.
It's in the bookmark.
What? But okay.
It's kind of like moving on stuff.
Imagine you took the ribbon from the bottom of the book, and it wasn't marking the page. It was just...
Oh. It made him crazy.
I guess. Isn't that weird? I didn't picture him to be that way at all.
He saw it all the way across the room?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were in the little office.
I can't believe that. He got up to do that.
Isn't that weird?
So what's with the CD?
So then as we were winding everything up, he was, like, cleaning up his CDs or something, and he said, oh, and he picked up this, Annie Lennox CD.
Yeah.
He said, oh, do you have this? It was all wrapped, like in the cellophane or whatever. He said, oh, do you have this? Or he said, oh, this is a great CD. And I said, oh, really? He goes, do you have it? And I said, no. He goes, here, have it. I have the tape. I listen to the tape all the time. I said, oh, okay, thanks.
Oh, my God.
Isn't that funny?
Well, you have had your share of gifts from him.
I know. Well, I've given him plenty.
I know. That's true. That's true. I'm just hoping that what he does for you, I go back to the same thing, which is, I hope that what he does for you makes you happy.
I hope so, too.
And I hope that what he does for you, since it's New York, allows you to make it in New York.
Yeah.
So.
At the Post Cereal Company,
I don't know, and he knows this has to happen soon.
Right.
Because what's today's date?
It's 2 weeks from Monday.
What? Say that again?
He's 2 weeks from Monday.
What do you mean he's 2 weeks from Monday?
Well, according to the timeline, he said, so you want to, like, have a job secured by the end of October.
Oh. I see.
So I could quit. Not go on the trip.
Yeah, that would make you happy.
Oh, yeah. I thought, yeah.
Oh.
Now it's you.
Oh, God. Well, on that list you gave him so many options that if he sits down, I don't know how involved Erskine is, but
I think, yeah.
if he is at all involved, this is right up his alley, too. He's got more connections in industry and every other thing that you can imagine.
Along with, too.
Well, he's amazing. So between the two of them, he can...
I don't really think... I'm not telling this. I don't think Erskine should have anything to do with this. I don't think anybody who works there should.
I don't see how that's a problem.
Because look at what happened with Webb Hubble. I'm just saying.
Oh, please.
I'm just saying. You know?
Yeah, but this isn't... Are you telling me that you think Erskine doesn't place people every day of the week? I mean, come on. That's how networking works. He has no connection. He has no connection with you.
I just think Bernie's a lot safer.
Well, I don't remember during the Webb Hubble thing. Was Vernon mentioned?
Yeah, but there's a big difference. I think somebody could construe, okay? Somebody could construe or say, well, they gave her a job to shut her up. They made her happy. And he worked for the government, and he shouldn't have done that. And with the other one, you can't say that.
Well, that's true.
That's why I think it's not smart. I'm glad I said the thing about Marcia.
Oh, Marcia Scott has absolutely no business being involved in this after what she did.
I know.
I mean, I think he has to realize that, too. And it was nice the way you put it. You just said, please respect that. I don't want her involved.
Yeah, but he also didn't trust her. He doesn't trust her implicitly.
Because he didn't tell her the truth.
Know everything, you know. So I think that was maybe.
Do you believe that he never really told her the truth?
Yes.
You're positive.
That. I am 100% positive. I'm 100% positive.
Well, that's sort of a dual-edged sword because, okay, he didn't tell her the truth, but on the other hand, by not telling her the truth, she was allowed to downplay this as though it was not that big a deal. Like, she's a kid, she got a bum rap. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, after all, I had already worked at the White House. It was already on my resume.
Where they call you the stalker.
Right.
Although, I think that was really sweet of him to...
Oh, it was so sweet of him.
How did he say that? I mean, how did he bring that up?
Okay. Betty came back to get me. Okay, we were in the back office. The three of us start to walk out. He's got one arm around Betty and one arm around me.
Oh.
Okay, he kisses me on the head. And then we kind of start, and then he kind of grabs my arm and he said, oh, one more thing I have to tell you. And so Betty kind of walked out. She walked outside. And then he told me.
And how did he say it?
He said, oh, one other thing that I talked to Erskine about was trying to get John Hilley to give you either a written recommendation or a verbal, recommendation so that, you feel you have he'll give you a good recommendation for your work here.
Because he remembered that bothered you. Mm-hmm. Of course, John Hilley wasn't there then, right?
Yes, he was.
Oh, he was?
Uh-huh.
Well, but was he the boss then?
Uh-huh.
He was? Is he the new Pat Griffith?
Uh-huh.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. Okay.
See, but I think...
But you didn't know him, right?
I didn't. You know what? You know what happened is this is how a lot of the ways Chris Walker screwed me. Is John Hilley liked me perfectly fine. And
Who's Chris Walker?
Chris Walker. Chris Walker was the guy who had my job, my predecessor.
Yeah.
Who then went to work, to be the confidential assistant to John Hilley. Okay? But all along, he wanted my supervisor's job. Okay?
Who was? Oh, right. He did.
Correct.
But now, why was Jocelyn fired?
We got treated like there. We were treated like the stepkids of the office.
But see, this is what, if you were fired at the same time, they're totally covered by saying this was reorganization. See? So, in a way, that works.
Except that there was one, although it could never be proved, the creep was the one who told me that wasn't the case.
Well, how would he know?
He was the one who told me it was Evelyn.
He actually told you it was Evelyn?
Yes.
Oh, I never knew that.
He told me, he called me the week after it happened, and he said, I didn't want to call you until I had found out what happened. And this is what happened,
So it really was Evelyn. Well, she must really, really, really have her eyes in when she was there. Well, she's what I always thought she was. So, she deserves to be a Voice of America. Can't think of anything I'd rather do less than...
You know what makes me wonder? You know what it makes me wonder is... But no, okay? And she sent Walter. With everything that's going on.
How would she know what was going on, though?
Oh, you mean about New York?
Mm-hmm.
She didn't. She wouldn't know, but just calling to say, make her happy. Does she want to move here?
But how would she, no, that makes no sense, because how would she even know you were unhappy?
She wouldn't. Oh, that's true. I don't know.
No, I don't think that's even, I don't think she was the one who called Walter, but someone did. Oh, you don't think he called you out of the clear blue with that particular subject matter?
I don't know.
What can I do for you? Please. He was recruited by someone.
It wasn't Betty.
Do you think it's possible?
Well, what she said was that Erskine talked to Marcia.
Why would Erskine have talked to Marcia?
As opposed to who?
Why would he talk to Marcia about this?
About the UN thing, maybe.
Oh, right. Because she's presidential personnel now. I keep forgetting that. Oh, that could very well be. But, you can make a case for telling him that placing you well at the UN could reflect poorly on him, as well as being not what you want.
It's not what I want, I think if he can really read that whole thing and still try and make me go there, that's pretty pathetic.
Well, I think if he reads that whole thing, he may decide it's easier just to bury you in the old EOB in communications.
Well, that would be nice.
Because this is going to involve some effort on someone's part.
Well, I had this, scary thought. It's like, oh my God, what if I had to meet Erskine or Vernon or something? They'd probably look at me and say, oh my God.
Well, you don't think he's telling them I want to place my friggin' girlfriend, do you?
No, but, okay, hello? What's the point?
He can still say the same thing that you're saying, which is, she got a bum rap.
They still won't let her. And you don't think, I don't know.
No, I think what he would say, though, I think he'd invoke Walter's name. Look, I can't afford to alienate Walter. She's a good kid. Let's do something for her. I don't think he's going to tell them. I think he does not admit these sorts of things, Monica.
I'm sure he doesn't.
Not even to. Although Vernon's known to be a so maybe he does to him.
Boast that I'm 24.
Huh?
I said boast that I'm 24.
Hey, you're an old lady now compared to when you started.
I know.
For God's sake. You're positively mature.
So I sent the glasses. I had a whole separate little packet of,
But not the paperweight.
No.
Good.
But I got this funny card, really funny card. It was kind of real colorful or whatever, kind of cartoony. and it was this thing coming from, I think it was like from a radio or something or another, and it says, "This is a test of the emergency insanity system," or something like that. It was really funny. And this is only a test, and you open it, it says, "Hang in there." This is funny. So I wrote in the card that the sunglasses are better late than never. And then I hoped he had a good trip, and he looked so cute. He said, "Did you see the footage of him playing soccer?"
Mm-mm.
Oh, he played soccer with these kids, and he scored a goal. And you should have seen, he was jumping up and down when he scored the goal. He looked just like a kid. And I said, the footage of you when you scored the soccer goal was great. I said, "You were just like a kid." And they put ... little handsome. Oh, it was funny. And then,
I didn't see that.
No.
I mean, I didn't see the goal. I haven't seen any coverage of him at all.
Yeah, and then I wrote, "P.S. Wasn't I right that my hugs are better in person than in cards?" And then, let's see, I sent a lot of things in a little envelope.
What else?
A couple jokes.
Oh, good.
That Barbie one.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't that funny?
That was good.
That one, and then this other one that the Australian guy sent me a long time ago. It might have been when you were on vacation.
A short portion of this conversation has been edited out at this point by the House Judiciary Committee.
Oh, God. And you sent him this?
Yes.
Well, he does enjoy your jokes.
I don't know. He told me such a dumb one. It was so stupid.
He told you...
I told you he told me this joke last week. It was so stupid.
About what?
At the end of our big fight, we were telling jokes.
On the phone?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me it was the dumbest joke about... I told you this...
That was the joke?
Yeah. Isn't that dumb? I was like, oh, that's so funny. Then I sent more.
What?
Okay. Then I sent...
God, Monica.
The sunglasses. Then I sent this... I did such a naughty thing, but I couldn't resist.
What?
I had gone to see... I can't pronounce his last name. He's one of my favorite artists. I should have made it my business to find out how to say it. But Egon Sheila...
I don't know. What'd you do?
No. So he's an artist, and I had gone to see his exhibit in New York, and he's one of my favorite artists. It was really wonderful. It was there until January. But his work is very... It's like... Klimt, he sort of styles himself after Klimt.
Yeah.
But it's very... It's like a lot of naked women and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's very erotic. And so I had got, some cards and stuff. So I took this one postcard, and it's like of this, like, naked, total naked girl. Like, you can't, there ain't no messing about it. She's butt naked.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wrote on the back of the card, I said, real innocent. Like, Egon Schiele's one of my favorite artists. I went to see the exhibit when I was in New York. His work is wonderfully intense and emotive and sensual. I'm like, if you get a chance, it'll be there until the 1st of January. But I mean, it's just, you can't miss it. I mean, this is like a total naked. I mean, they've got like, he draws hair and everything. So it's really funny.
So that went in there too. Anything else?
Yes.
What?
I wrote him this dumb thing. You know me and my dumb ideas.
Yes.
One of those things.
Well?
On education.
Oh, you mean an actual idea?
Not an actual idea, more just an opinion, more complaining about something than talking about really giving an idea. But I said that, and really I had wanted to tell him this. We were having a discussion, and it slipped my mind because we changed topics on Saturday. But that, while really one of the things I love the most about his administration is the focus on education. The one thing I never hear is talk about that teacher salaries are too low.
Mm-hmm.
And that I really personally think that that's one of the most important aspects of education, and that we're losing wonderful teachers because the salaries are too low, to different professions, or they, I know wonderful teachers who move to Scotland to teach at the American School of Scotland because they make so much money.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said that was, and I had heard in a seminar a few years ago that the Japanese pay their teachers 2% more than an engineer. And you know how an engineer is revered in Japan. So I said, it sends a message that the Japanese, how they prioritize education. And I said, what kind of message do we send to Americans? when our teachers barely make more than above the poverty line.
Well, not only that, but in New York and in major cities, sanitation engineers read garbage men make more than the average.
Yeah.
K through 12 teacher.
Yeah, and it's just, it's true. And then this other thing, it's just something that irks me, and I don't even know if it's something he could do anything about, but the whole, how teachers get tenure.
Right.
It's the most ridiculous thing in the world. It really is, because no teacher should have job security like that. They need to perform. They need to be up to a performance standard. Nobody in the real world has anything like tenure. You're guaranteed your job.
Right.
You're guaranteed a job. It doesn't matter if you perform poorly or not.
So you wrote all this down?
Uh-huh. But what was really funny is at the top I wrote, I'm being pompous and, in wanting you to read this, thinking that this is like a really good thing, good use of your time or whatever, and I put ... but it makes good bathroom reading.
I think he enjoys your suggestions.
Well, I don't know. I don't think so. He hasn't used any of them.
He got excited about the idea of the...
Yeah, but, he's gotten excited before. But,
it said in the paper that he went October 3rd to Bethesda. I don't think that was the day I was there when he was.
Yeah, I think it was.
No. Because I was supposed to have 10 days from that day. And I thought that was tomorrow was 10 days. And tomorrow's the 17th. Because if he did, that means I really need to go get these out.
You went back on Friday to the doctor.
Friday? Was that the day he was there?
No, but you went on the same day, so...
I went on the same day that was the day I had this thing off.
I know, I'm trying to remember. Okay, here we can do it. September 30th was a Tuesday. So that means 1, 2, 3. So he went on Friday. So then, yeah, wasn't it a Friday? And then you went back on Monday because you thought, or you were going to stay home on Monday?
Yeah.
So then it was a Friday.
It was?
Uh-huh. Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Because I didn't think it was that long ago.
Yeah, it was. So then at the end, I just was talking about that, I said, coming from somebody who had, I know it's not to do the age thing, but hey, you know what? Not his girlfriend anymore anyway.
Yeah, true.
He's already resigned himself to not like me. But
he's resigned himself that he can't do this right now.
So,
okay, so you put what?
Oh, so I said, well, coming from somebody who has, who's been in school recently, and I just was talking about that, a lot of the teachers with tenure were still teaching, had used the same curriculum or the same textbooks and the same notes that they used 20 years ago.
Right.
When they first started. And I said that, if a lot of these teachers can't keep up with the new curriculum and the new kind of teaching standards and stuff that you're trying to implement, who cares? Not who cares, but, I said, and so I just think it's something that should be abolished.
This must have been quite a package.
I know. And then my idea, it was kind of, there was something else I put in there too. I'll tell you in a minute. My idea was sort of, I said, isn't there some way that, is there some way that the private sector could do something to directly help teachers' salaries? And then I said, is it possible that they would, provide scholarships for teachers based on merit?
Yeah.
To supplement their salaries.
And?
I don't know, that's it. They were questions. They were just ideas. Then the other thing I sent was this article that I had seen, an AP article that was really neat, that was sort of this thing, I'm sure he knows about it, because Congress, I guess, is doing something with it, or Congress passed a bill or something or another, that it's these programs that are funded by the private sector that they're kind of like our 401k things, but they're, but they're for the poor people, where if the poor person saves $10, they match it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and help out that way. And my suggestion, I don't know, maybe they've thought of it, maybe it's stupid, but I was sort of thinking, well, why couldn't you do something like this with children and health care? with children's health care, that if a parent, pays a portion of it, some private industry, private business
could pick up
supplement it,
That's a good idea. It's funny. I think he listens to your ideas.
I think he reads them, and I think he listens to them. I don't think he implements them.
Well, you know what? If a commercial comes out.
Okay, if a commercial comes out, then yes.
If a commercial comes out that says all the investigations throughout the entire administration have cost the taxpayers upwards of X amount, and then a laundry list appears of what this money could have been used for. What did he suggest?
Like Head Start. He said Head Start.
Right. Well, that's one of probably a million things he could think of. But if that all was a laundry list next to it, you'll know you were responsible for that.
Right. Well, you know what I have to say, in that I said to my mom, I said, you and Linda are probably the only people that will agree with me on this ridiculous thing, but I prefer to be obnoxious about it. Hold on. Just a second.
All right.
No, honey, Ruth's mother died from the Bible, from the book of Ruth.
Oh?
Yeah? Hi.
Okay, do you remember how I sent Mitch that article?
Who?
Remember I sent Mitch, the lawyer Mitch?
What article?
I sent him this article. Remember there was the Paula Jones article? There was an article in the newspaper.
About what?
Remember, and it was talking about that both this woman and the Susan Carpenter McMillan were sort of saying that they hoped something or another. I don't remember now what it was, but that they hoped that it would bring more money, that people would contribute more, and that if they wanted to see this go to trial, they would contribute more. And I sent the note saying, somebody should make a point of finding out if Paula Jones keeps that money.
Oh, yeah, I
vaguely
remember
okay,
this.
and now they're subpoenaing who and how much has been donated into her fund and how it's being spent.
Oh, you're kidding.
No.
Wow.
So, I don't know. I kind of see a small connection there,
Well, it depends. Did you have this conversation before?
I didn't have a conversation.
Oh, you just sent the...
I sent the article in an anonymous note.
Oh, Monica, you're a riot.
Oh.
Well, I think that's possible. Too bad you can't get credit for it.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Well, I still maintain that your whole trouble with him stems from that whole situation.
Well, I think so. And Betty said something. I don't know if she was referring... I don't know if she was referring to... which scandal she was referring to. But I said something or another. I said, oh, it's been a rough week. And she goes, yeah, I know, poor baby, or something like that.
You said what?
She said it's been a rough week for him or something, poor baby, something like that.
Oh, this week? I wonder what...
The recording ended abruptly at this point. This conversation with Linda Tripp and Monica Lewinsky was recorded on October 16th, 1997. After about 13 seconds of conversation, about 2 minutes of this call were edited out by the House Judiciary Committee.
Where does that... How does that make sense?
It doesn't.
And you know what I think is also kind of atrocious?
Uh-huh.
It's... Oh, God. Well... That's got to be extremely embarrassing to him. That whole front page thing was just ridiculous. But I think it will work to his advantage because I think people just don't want to read that in the paper.
Mm-hmm. And I think...
Oh, and then they had a picture of Paula Jones and her sister.
Oh, wait, really?
Oy.
I didn't see that.
Amazing. Well, I believe she saw something, but I don't believe... I think this whole sensational mess she's gotten herself into was the product of others making her exploit what I think was started out to be a consensual thing.
Mm-hmm.
And something went wrong.
I don't know. I just think I'm very, I have to tell you, I was very surprised to hear that they were going forward with trying to subpoena Kathleen Willey.
Well, that's never been a dead issue.
No, but just, I thought, didn't you think, and I know you had said this too, with her best friend coming out saying she lied?
But that's all they're doing is seeing what she said at the time. That's all they want to know. You know, whether she lied, whether she didn't, they want to know what she said at the time. And Kirby hasn't called me back yet, but he works till 11 and 12 at night, so he was, his intention was to just call them and say, we're not available, we're not coming.
Yeah.
But I did want to get across. I left a message on his voicemail.
I mean, the only thing I'm thinking is, what if for some weird reason, and look, he still can choose to not do it, right? But I'm just thinking, what if for some weird reason Bennett thinks there's something to gain from you going there to say it? Which I doubt. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what if you're acting on what you think is what they want?
Well, maybe you should mention it to Betty.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how involved in this thing she is.
Well, you've talked to her about it before.
Yeah. I can.
Well, I think all you have to say is, my attorney was contacted by the new...
Right.
Do you think she'd relay this to him, though? This is not just for her satisfaction.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what she would do.
Well, then don't.
This
isn't just for Betty's knowledge. I mean, that solves nothing.
I mean, to me, the clearest, most direct way to find out, what they want is for Kirby to talk to Bennett or Mitch. I think I only just...
He may have done that, too. I mean, that's usually what he does. So, he has no problem talking to them.
Yeah.
He just doesn't like me talking to them.
Yeah.
I just don't want it to cause another... I don't want my name to be brought up again in the Oval Office. I just don't. It's not appropriate. I have nothing to do with this. I'm not a player. She is a player. Face it.
Right.
She created the whole thing.
I still think, look, something probably did happen. I just still think it's weird that he's I guess, but you said it wasn't as disheveled as they made it seem. That's what I forgot.
No, she was red in the face, I don't want to get into it all. I believed her at the time. But remember, I saw a flirtation going on for months. Yeah. This wasn't surprising to me.
No, I know, but that's not good for him.
Well, no, but it didn't continue. It never continued.
No, but it's still, the point would be with a federal worker on federal property.
She was a volunteer at that time. And a friend. So.
Oh, boy. I wish this whole thing would go away. I think part of the reason he went forward with this whole thing was because Kathleen was essentially a dead issue.
Went forward with what whole thing?
I think, it was kind of this, they were trying to settle, but you know what? It didn't work.
Well, don't you think there's still a chance for settlement?
No, and they haven't been talking either. There hasn't been any talk of settlement with the new lawyers.
In the press.
Well, what they've done in the past is they've said they've spoken, what they said towards, what they were saying for a while was they're negotiating, but what they're talking about is not being disclosed.
Well, he's never talked to you about this, right?
No.
Only about Kathleen.
Mm-hmm.
And he says it didn't happen.
Correct.
Well, that worries me a little bit, because assuming it did happen, that would mean he was lying to you.
He's lied to me before.
Yeah, I guess.
I can't sit here and say, oh, he lied to me. I lied to him, too.
You don't lie to him.
Oh, really? Does she know about us? No, she doesn't know.
Oh, about me?
Yeah, that's a lie.
Yeah, that's a lie.
It's a flat-out lie, so... You know what I mean? He was like...
Yeah, you know what I meant to say to you, speaking of that? I know this abridged version that you're giving people now.
Yeah?
That worries me. Because, look, why do we have to use any version?
Well, I mean, I'm not giving it to people. I don't think it's like I'm talking about it freely.
Well, you told this Judy person in New York.
No, that's not Judy. This was the counselor lady. She's bound by law.
She is?
Yeah.
She's an employment counselor?
Yes.
And she's bound?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right.
You know, she's a PhD, and so no.
How'd you find her?
My mom found her.
In the Yellow Pages?
No, she read about her somewhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this woman lectures like all over the country.
I should go to her. What's her name?
Marilyn Ullman.
Is she good?
She's a better therapist than she is.
But she's not, I mean, that's not her job, right?
No, but she has a counseling degree. She has an MBA and a degree in psychology.
But what her actual function is employment counselor.
Yeah. You know.
So what you told her essentially was there had been rumors and you had to leave?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think in speaking to her that she saw between the lines?
No.
Oh, good.
No. And to my dad, what I thought about was that that by being able to, he will be impressed with I think he'll be mad too, but he'll be kind of impressed with the notion that the creep talked to his daughter. Do you know what I mean?
How are you going to present this?
I know how I'm going to do it. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
I know. I'm just trying to get you're going to say, Dad?
Well, I'm just going to say the rumors, and I'm going to say, you know, that...
That's why you had to leave?
Right. And that he and Betty were the ones to tell me, and, you know, he kept in touch every, couple of months or whatever, and that, this tried to happen, but it still kept surfacing, and,
That you decided...
Right.
That it was better if... to not take the chance of further rumors.
Right. Well, and I'm going to have to be able to substantiate that by saying that, something about how I had heard, that had come up again.
Yeah.
So that it wasn't like it was a dead rumor. Because otherwise he'd say, well, you're being paranoid, just go back.
Well, you know what's easy for you to say? Because of the current climate.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I will say. Well, he may say to me, well, why don't you just wait till fall? I'll say, Dad, I just don't want to do that.
Plus, hopefully, by the time you tell him, you're not going to tell him before you know what you're doing, are you?
Yes, I am. I'm telling him this weekend.
Shoot. I was hoping you could say, and this is such an awesome opportunity.
Well, because the reason is I think it's going to be easier if he's involved in it, rather than I made all these decisions and you weren't involved in anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right.
So...
There's some people in this town.
Yeah.
God, Claudia Schiffer is so pretty.
Cleo, you smell.
Have you watched him?
Huh?
Have you watched him?
It's a she.
Oh, she?
No, well,
What's her name?
It's Cleo.
What's the full name?
Who?
Oh, it's not short for, like, Clementine or something?
No, her name's Cleo.
How did you come up with that name?
I didn't. Allison did. She's named after another Cleo that died.
Oh, Cleo. So this is Cleo the second?
Yes. Oh, God.
Or is it Cleo Jr.? Oh, no, it's a girl.
It's a girl. She's just Cleo. But she goes in for grooming periodically. She's probably due. Because, ooh, she smells.
Oh, my God. Andy, uncle, they had this golden retriever. Heidi and Charlie.
Yeah.
Charlie, oh man, that poor dog. It had those things, where it scratches itself.
Oh.
And like those big red, it's just disgusting. And he smelled so bad. And they took him to the groom like once a year.
Oh, no wonder.
Yeah.
You can't do that. They have to be clipped, and for the summer, and they need to have their ears done, and they just have to have care. The toenails clipped. Really? Oh.
Yeah.
Can't even stand the sight of that stuff. Now, do you think he'll call when he gets back and go over this thing with you?
He will do one of a few things.
Okay.
Okay? He gets his thing on Monday. Let's hope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he'll get it Monday.
He will either call Monday night to say, okay, I've taken a look at this. This is what I'm planning to do.
Is she in town Monday?
No.
Where's she?
Well, she goes to New York. I don't know if she's spending the night in New York, which I think she is. I think she's out of town a lot next week.
Oh, good.
Because she goes to Chicago for some big birthday thing for her, but I don't know if he's going or not.
Oh, probably.
So, I'm not sure.
Okay, but you think he'll call and say...
Well, he may. I don't know that. I'm hoping he will. Or he will maybe call later in the week once he's had a chance to talk to either Erskine or Vernon. Or he's not going to call until he has something to show. I'm hoping he'll do the first one because he also said to me, but he's full of rhetoric,
We know this.
Is that he said to me, this was so cute, he said, I said, and you'll call me when you get back? He goes, I'll call you and give you a report.
Well, he probably will. I'm telling you, you've given him a very easy way of handling this.
I think so.
Relatively speaking.
I think so. What I felt good about is I felt like, but it's whenever I feel good about something that it...
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I feel like...
Go get your ball, Cleo.
I want him to feel a little guilty, and I hope that this letter did that.
I don't see how he can't feel guilty. You have told him you have been the only one punished by this. He's fine.
Linda, you don't understand. He did not acknowledge anything that I said that night. He just yelled at me. I'm not kidding you.
I don't see how he could yell at you when...
He yelled at me because the way I was acting was like he was not on my team and not on my side. Don't know why I should have thought that.
Well, because it's been a year and a half and you were supposed to be back there like this after the election, so that's probably why. I don't know. What do you think? I'm just guessing.
I'm just guessing, too. But, I mean, Linda, he got so mad at me, he must have been purple.
What precisely pissed him off?
I think it was my, I was ready, I was a cannon ready to shoot.
I know.
Just waiting. And...
Sorry, magicians never reveal their secrets.
Well...
What started it was when I said, Betty said she could come any time of the night. And he said,
Oh, yeah, well, this was at 3 in the morning.
Right. And he said, well, it's too late, it'll be all over. And I said, well, I want to discuss this with you in person. And he's like, no, well, I'm calling you. You just demand to see me. And that's when he started. And then I started yelling. And then he started yelling. And I yelled more, and he yelled more. And then he finally...
Did he ever say, do you know who you're talking to?
No. and then I was crying.
God.
And then he was yelling at me.
Did he know you were crying?
I don't remember when I started crying. I think I started crying after he yelled at me. He scared me so much that I was like, okay.
That bad?
Linda. It was like this. It was like, let me see if I can do it. Like, oh, every day, and I come home, and I'm obsessed about this in the night and the morning. It was like that. It was worse than that.
I'm really hoping none of his little ushers were outside the door.
Well, it was one of those quiet yellings, like he was trying to keep his voice down.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
I have an empty life except for my work and this obsession.
He said that? He has an empty life except for his
Right,
work.
and then I said, well, don't you get any warmth and da-da-da from your wife?
You didn't.
I did. He said, of course I do.
Yeah, what he really told you was the truth before that, Monica. I have an empty life.
But Linda, what about his daughter and all the things he does? And,
Hey, listen,
I think he likes to think that for a minute. He thinks that...
No, what he's saying is his compulsion for female intimacy is the void. That's the void. And whatever motivates him to behave the way he does, and then obviously he has to pull back and say, I can't do this, is because there's a void. And so for him to say, I have an empty life, you don't understand, Monica. By now, Air Force One, all the trips, all that's pretty routine. It's pretty routine. Yes, he has accolades wherever he goes. He's the most photographed man on this planet. It's like anything else. It becomes old hat. It becomes routine. And I think it makes you even more realize what's missing. I have a couple of friends who are so rich that they could buy an island and not feel it. I mean, very, very, very wealthy and have always been. And they are much more difficult to satisfy on a spiritual level than anyone I know because they have it all. And it just doesn't mean anything.
I don't know. I think he likes to feel sorry for himself, and I think I think he, not necessarily consciously, but unconsciously, it was like, this is the thing to say to drive home the point.
No, you're wrong. I think he slipped, and I think also, if he were a completely fulfilled man, you wouldn't exist in his life.
Yeah.
So you better understand that. I mean, you wouldn't have ever been an issue.
But there have been millions of women.
And that means there's an issue here.
I don't know.
You know, it doesn't matter why. It just means, you know, and the whole reason he's having these pangs of guilt and pullback and every other thing is because I'm sure that the current situation has just blown his mind. I mean, who would have ever thought? And she was probably a nothing in the scheme of all of them, but she's the one who made the stink. And she just keeps plodding on. And it must really gall, because look at her. I mean, even her entourage looks like something out of a Kmart ad. Beyond everything else, he should be embarrassed that he was with her.
I'm sure he is.
All right, I gotta go take a shower.
All right. Call my mom back.
How's she doing?
Fine. Fine.
How have you decided to deal with the Michael thing? I know it's not your problem anymore, but...
I don't know.
Okay.
I think we're, you know, we're all kind of doing this, you know, obviously the ideal thing would be that this Rudd and management thing really works out.
Has that been broached at all?
Well, my mom will see him on the 21st, so I don't know exactly what's going to happen then.
Okay. Are you moving out of your apartment at the end of the month?
I don't know what's going on. You know, it's like first step is wait till he gets the packet and see what he has to say. I know the two bones he'll pick with me are the UN thing and that I said that Marcia thing. That Marcia thing will piss him off.
He didn't say it in a nasty way.
It doesn't matter, it'll still piss him off. Kind of one of those, some nerve kind of a...
No, because I think you got across the other night on the phone that he was not... You were allowed to speak your mind about Marcia and what really happened, weren't you? I mean, you're the one that said to him you pit one girlfriend against the other, or something to that effect.
Yeah.
So I think he's getting the joke.
Well, no, because I said something at one point when I said something about Marcia, and he said, she was my girlfriend in like 1968 or something, some stupid thing like that.
Oh, yes. He banged her on the canal or something?
Yeah.
Oh, how gross. How gross. Ugh, I saw her in some of the tapes. I think she looks pretty much the same.
There's this picture in the West Wing of her and him. I don't know where they were, but they were in some school with children drawing.
In a jumbo, you mean?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
And so it must have been recently. It was probably in Arkansas.
Oh, yeah, it was probably in Arkansas with that, black thing.
Yeah.
I think. 'Cause she would be there. All right, I'm going to go take a shower.
Okay, thanks for all your help today. I'm sorry, I forgot to...
No, I didn't do a thing. You did it all. You did
yes,
it all.
You did. No, you helped.
I didn't. You had... This product was really 99.9% done, and you did it all yourself, and it was great. So, no, I'm glad. I mean, the packet grew since I last heard, but...
Well, that's the me piece of it.
Yeah, well, you have to do that. All right, well, let's wait and see. I think, though, that you should check with Betty tomorrow to make sure it came.
Yeah.
Because she won't call you.
Yeah, that's true.
How's her mother?
She's out of the hospital.
Okay.
So that's good. It's just, I think it's just...
She's okay, then?
Yeah, I think it's just she's